Hello everybody and welcome back to Satisfactory. Last time we finished our first factory here. I modified it a bit so we have the assemblers now on the last story. So the third one, I added a third one. It's not looking that pretty yet. That's partly because I don't want to waste so many resources for walls only. Once we have more of those resources, then of course we can finish those factories. So this is factory number 1 that we have now, and it is for the reinforced steel plate. Let's have a look at the reinforced steel plate. As we can see, I've got over 300 of that already in my inventory now, and that's exactly what we wanted for the research. Actually, we only need 50 for the reinforced steel plate, but what gives? You know, we have a surplus of that. A surplus is always good, better having it than needing it. Let's get back. Here we can now turn it in, and thus we have finished logistics 2. Now logistics 2 is quite a big one because it adds a faster conveyor belt for us.
Milestone reached. Improved versions of conveyor belts and conveyor lifts are now accessible. To encourage additional verticality, conveyor poles now have a stackable variant.
And that is a very important one too. So the conveyor belt here that we have now, we have the stackable conveyor belt. That is the one with the ladder on it as well. So we can, we can place it, and then we can place another one on top of it and stuff like that. We can draw it up there and have a ladder kind of for the factories. That makes it much easier. And we have conveyor belt level 2. So this is transporting twice as many resources now on this belt. The same goes with the lift. So much faster transportation, and we will be using that soon. Now let's go for the next research, because we do have a bit of materials there. So complete space elevator phase 1, jump pads and resource sink program. Let's go with the jump pads in this case here. Or no, let's go with the resource sink program. That's the one. Right, so we need to wait again for 5 minutes. We do have the cement for that already. I think the wires will have as well. We have the rods for it. Steel plates, we have plenty of that. So this we can actually finish them right away. And let's just get over here for the wires. As you can see, we do have quite a lot of that. Let's take 500 with us there. That should be fine. And on the other hand, we do have these steel plates. So that's this one. There we have the steel plates actually piling up, even though this is the steel plate that's going to the factory over there. And I just absolutely love having a factory building. This is pretty. There we have the steel plates coming out of here. And over there we now have steel plates as well. So this is steel plates only. Right, so here we have the steel plates. Still a few rods there from the last time, but the steel plates here. Now we do have, that's the important one, we do have now a full steel plate production. Later we will have a factory building here for the steel plates then, so it makes it a bit more beautiful. But right now we want to have something for the rods as well, rods and screws. Now we use that already for the reinforced iron plate, but that is not enough, because let's go for the crafting there again. We do have a resource that we need, and that is the rotor. Right, the rotor is something that needs the rods and the screws. So it needs 2 resources that actually are coming from the same, well, smelter, that is. So from the same constructor, the rod and the screws. And in that case here, we can use that in another building entirely once again. So for this, I've already prepared something. As you can see up here on my beacons, I have an iron deposit there where there are 2 nodes. And this is our next target. And for that, to reach that side, well, it's quite a distance. So over there we have our hut. Then the hut we can see on the navigation, but we can also see it now thanks to the space elevator wherever we are, because that is just so tall. And yeah, as you can see, beautiful world. And we just have to take a hike here now with our power line that we have there for now. And on the way back, we're going to have then the conveyor belts. So for this one, now the power line over there. And as you can see over there, I already placed a conveyor belt. So we just need to go there and have some, well, kind of like unnatural stairs. And oh, what I see is the monster here respawned. So this one's respawning. Oh yeah, and it's hurting me already. But it should not be able to get up there on the belt. Right, so there we have the... Nope, it's not able to get up there. So it's just waiting in front of it. And let's continue. Iron deposit, actually 2 of them. We will need both of them later, but I don't know which one is closer now. Let's continue this way. Yes, and there we have it already coming up in front of it. And lots of place here for another factory building. And this is something I really, really love about this game, that instead of one massive base, you have smaller factory buildings everywhere. So at some point you're going through the world and you have like little towns that are working completely independently, and they're, well, specializing into something that you can just then get here. For example, here we have now the beacon. We can actually take this beacon again if we have a bit of space there on the inventory. We have, very nice. Let's get the iron ore here. So let's open up the nodes here. We have 2 here. That's very good. That's exactly what we need for the screw and the rod production. And there's the other one. Of course, we will need at some point to increase the, well, the delivery of the ore, because 2 nodes long-term wise is not enough, even though we can upgrade the miners then. Now, first of all, let's open up this new base here with a miner. Miner number 1 and miner number 2. There is no place for another one. Righto. And next step is then right away the building. We have lots of space here. The only thing that I would like to get here is actually, for organization's sake, a lookout tower. A bit over here. Because that just gives us the perfect opportunity of having a good look around what we need to do. This one here. And now the fun part begins, and that is the foundation. So we start. The first one is a rather difficult one because you have the free floating system. The next one is then the easier part. So in that case here we have that, and now it's just a grid of the a grid that we continue all the way then over there, building our base. And there we have the foundation. Now I know that there is another iron deposit far over there, so the idea is that on the other side of this foundation here, so let's have a wall. So left of the wall, we are going to have another entrance for more iron ore coming in later, right? So here, what in the first level, we want to keep it scalable. So in that regard, once I get rid of the lookout tower, I have more space than over here. Beautiful view. By the way, there is some sort of crater down there with resources that I can see. Now what we need here is the entrance then with the iron. Then here we're going to have, or we should have, the ability for mergers and splitters. So I'm just going to have one here as a placeholder, as a merger, so I can see kind of like how much space it needs. And here we're going to have the smelters then. So in that case, smelter and 2 smelters for now, obviously, but since we want to continue then with more, we will have then the ability from there, and we're starting with the smelters then down there. So 2 smelters should be fine. Righto, and there we have the merger. I can stack the merger to another level, like so, if we want. And now I can just place those. The lower one goes into that, and this one goes in the upper one, fitting in there, and then goes out on the other side and connecting with that. So there we got the first one. And of course, once we get more iron then coming in here, I will then be able to remodel this one here in a more clean manner. So that is that. We have already the next level here that we can build. Like so. I hope we can actually build it. Yeah, this is working very nice. So there we have the roof. So I just need to know where we have the roof, you know. Otherwise I would be a bit lost. And let's actually get this one up here to the lookout tower so I can walk around in it then as well. Very good. So now I can get up here. And let's finish this floor here too. The same with this one. Righto. So now we have the bars then down here, the iron ingots that we craft, and they have to get up here then somehow. So let's continue that wall, or that floor. Once more. I'd rather build it a bit too big than, you know, having to remodel it again because we have too little space, too few space. So in this case here, down there we have then the smelters, and here we now have the conveyor lift. In that case, let's go with the level 2 conveyor belt right away. We can afford that. We have enough of these plates now. And it's going up here. Right? So there's this one. And this one is then... it's a bit too low there actually. Let's have it again. This is just for having a look on This is too high. This should be working now. It's still too low, but it's fine. This one is working. Right, so there we have that. It's coming out of here now. And here we do have then, first of all, the ones for the rods, but we do need the ones for the screws as well, because we want to have both of them. For now, I will be happy to have both of them on one floor. If we need more then, I can expand to a third level. And well, on the third level we can then craft screws only, and on the second level we have the rods only then. I'm running out of cement now, but that's fine, we are finished here. So we have that. There is it coming out then, the ingots, and the ingots are then being splitted up. So we do need the splitters. We're going to have the splitters then here on this area. And they're going to split it up then into those constructors where the iron rods are being produced. Right, so 2 and 2 again. So these are iron rods only, and then some of them are going to have the nails. So for the nails, I'm going to have it a bit differently. We're going to have the nails here, and we can do that like that. Put the nails 2 times, right? So we have the nails in here, and here the belt is coming out then. Either it's coming then continuing here, or we just, you know, collect it down here, the screws then. Either way we have it for now, and once we need more of it, we can then go for a third level and control it like then both outputs are on the same side, like here for example, because this makes more sense than later. But for the third level, right? So here we have that now. We still need to connect them. There are the rods coming out. I think actually, when I look at that, let's have the rods. How many are coming out here? 15 per minute. And the screws, they do need 10 per minute, actually. So this is producing more than we need. Right, so what I still need is a splitter, because this one here is splitting it up. Now for that, however, after all, I will need a third level, because we do need for the splitter, it needs its own space, right? Which is perfectly fine. So we have the splitter here. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, we have a splitter here. So for each one of these we have then splitters and then merges again that are coming together here. So we have then the rods going up and the surplus of rods going over here. Alright, back in the base I got a lot of cement, but we're going to finish one of the resources actually, or one of the projects that we have there right now, because we do have all the resources and it's just fun of doing that. So there we have another milestone unlocked.
You have been given
which is the second last now for the tier 2. In that case here, this allows us now to have the awesome sink and the awesome shop here. So with that we can get special rewards for, well, spending some resources and stuff like that. Now that is on its way. We do have another milestone, which is the jump pads, but for the jump pads we do need the rotors. So that is one thing that we have here as a goal now, right now anyway, with the factory. And with that, let's get back to our factory with lots of cement there, because we can still get a bit of cement here and on the other side. Right, back in our newly built factory. First of all, what I want to have is, well, a few more walls here, so we can close the whole thing off on this side here, so it does look a bit better. Of course, this is only for cosmetics, because the factory would hold with only one wall as well, no problem there. There we still need the floor going to the wall then. And it works surprisingly well, the building system in 3D. Down here we have now the smelter. Let's get up there again. The smelter is delivering. Wait a second, do we have that finished already? We could now have the smelter here. This is working. Bringing it up here. So there we do need another conveyor belt lift. Going up here. Oh right, we do need to get rid of the floor there. Right, and probably something like that. Right, so here we do have then the smelter 1, and here we have the smelter 2. delivering that over there for now. Of course, that's way too much. So they produce 30 ingots per minute. Now, I think the iron rod needs 15 per minute. So 2 of them can supply 2 constructors. Let's get up here again. 2 constructors. And they need 15 ingots for the rods, right? And for the nails, we do need 10 ingots. So 3 of those constructors can supply 4. In that regard, oh, wait a second. Of course, 2 of them can supply 3, that it is, because they have 15, not this one here, but this one here. They have 15 parts per minute output of the rods. That's 30 per minute, and that's 2 of the, oh well, that's 3 of the screws. Now that I get it right. Here we have a merger, so those 2 are being merged. A belt here can transport 60 per minute, so you know it fits on there, all of it. And here we do now need another level, another story for the screws then. So we have the wall. Let's get it up there 3 times again. In this case here, let's have another. I'm pretty sure there's a better way of doing it. Oh, wait a second. We could have a better way of doing it right away. We do have a wall. Let's have another wall here. Going up there. Then we have a floor. Right, and I think now that we have the stackable pole, we can use it here as a ladder. Oh, yeah, we can get it up there. This is working. Look at that. There's now a perfect ladder for us to use. Getting up here on the next floor. And up here, what do we need first? Well, we do need another conveyor lift. Going from here that we have. From the merger. And hello. This one here now has capacity for 3 screw constructors. So let's have the floor here. Beautiful. So we have a whole new level here that we have now finished. In that regard, down here, as we can see, we have the other floor. So let's finish this. So have it a bit of a square mode. Yeah, very good. And here we can now have the constructors for the screws. In that case, 3 of them for now, because we can support 3. Of course, we do need another splitter here, this one. And I hope this works, because it's coming out of here, the 3, or well, the belt for the 3. So we have a splitter here, and this is splitting already for 3 constructors now. Right, so we have not constructor number 1. Is that the distance? Yeah, the distance is fine. Constructor 1. Constructor 2. And constructor 3. Let's have a look. This goes over here. This goes over in here. And this one goes into that one. Very good. That is working. And here it's coming out. Or the rods are coming in here. Being splitted up. I hope the splitter is fast enough. You never know. And then we have the screws here. 3 times the screws. Very good. And on the other side, that's why we actually do need a bit of space there. On the other side, we do have once again a merger. In that case, it's merging all 3 of them. Whoops, not like that. And then here. It's working. All 3 have been merged. And here we now have then our way down, where our screws are going down then. So we could actually do it here with a pole. In that regard, like so. This one connects it with the pole. And this one here goes down then someplace else. So as you can see, it should then actually work. Yeah, like that. And here the screws are coming out. So of course we do need lots of screws. But in that case here, we have the screws and the rods, not for the screws and the rods themselves, but for, well, rotors. And that is actually the next level of this factory here. So we have, of course, our ultimate goal is to have the rotors, and they need the rods and the screws. right? And for that I will need to look up the assembler. We have the assembler here for the rotor, and let's see, it does need 20 rods per minute, and it needs 100 per minute of the screws, right? How much screw do we output here? 40 per minute. So all three of them can basically supply only one of this one here for the screws, and the same is with the rods. So we have a 10 output there of the rods. In this case, hey, 3 rod constructors, or two of them can supply one of this assembler here. So we can only afford one assembler so far for the rotors. That is fine. The more we the more resources we get in here, though, the more we can produce. In this case here, we can upgrade those factories then later, and it's scalable. So we can have as many of them here side by side as we want, and continue to build this factory here in the future. Now that is important. Here we get the screws out. So the rods are coming down here on the same side, out here on the same side, getting up here with the conveyor belt lift. And here we have a lift going up then to the next level. So all we need to do now, well, is having a next level. Let's build it. I'm surprised this structure here is holding up, but it is holding up. There we have a next one. Of course, once again, we can use our stackable pole. So our ladder, I think you can see that on the other side then. Yeah, but it's fine. It's looking fine. And then I do need another wall though. Right, and once again we have the floor up here then. So let's get up there to the next level. Very nice. And well, we have to do the same thing again. Lucky for us, we still have enough cement. So I'm confident that we will be able to finish this floor here as well. Now the only thing is, where is the output coming out then? And the output is then coming out on the over there, in my opinion. So out here, because we need to transport the rotors then over to our main base back again. So it makes sense to have it then here, the output. Oh, that was actually too much. This is the end of the factory. And then we do the same thing here again, finishing our floor. And last but not least is up here the assembler. So there we have the first one. Now the rods are coming out of here. And the screws are coming out of here. So we do need, first of all, a plate or a belt going over here for the screws only. And then both of them are coming together here then on that side, right? So here we do need a splitter though, or well, something like that that keeps it together. So the rods are coming out of here. And here we're going to have a splitter just for the rods. In that case, this one. And it's coming from over there. Let's see that it is aligned correctly to it. It is aligned to this one now at least. And we can go for the next level up here. Like so. Hopefully this is going up there now. It is. Very good. And this one is then going down into... Let's see... the screw, which is going over here like that. Oh, that is actually looking better, yeah. Let's get rid of that again. Right, so there we have the screws then being transported. This goes here with one straight line. And the rods that are coming out of here, well, they need to be elevated a bit. Yeah, that's a bit tricky. Now this is how it's looking, because the screws are coming from this belt going into that splitter, and then one is coming out here, and then the screws continue to that splitter here. So the splitter always takes as much as it needs from those belts, and here the rods are coming out into that splitter, and that splitter then is transporting it over here to the assembler, and here continues to the next splitter for this one here that needs then again, well, it's sort of rods. There we have the splitters. So this is how it's working. I think, at least in my opinion, there's probably a better way for this, but let's do it like that for now. And then we have the assembler. Now the assembler has 2 inputs, as we've already seen, and we should keep a bit of space there. There it is aligned now to it at least. In that case, it just has to have enough that it's not too steep for this one here. And that's it. Right, and now it has 2 entrances there going into the assembler, and here we can have the rotor finally. So this one is now taking the rods and the screws coming from the lower floors and delivering then the rotor out of this one here. Right, so there it's coming out. And then we can have the exit here, kind of like we wanted to have the exit, right? We follow here. And then we continue all the way over here. And here it can then get down here, so let's have a conveyor belt, a conveyor pole, and then the belt going down here somehow. If it's not too long or something like that. Or perhaps there is something where we can, you know, kind of like a lift down, like the lift that we have upwards. Perhaps there is something that goes downwards. But yeah, that's it. So we have that. This one here is looking a bit strange. We need to remodel this one. So that is the lift. Oh right, it did that because there's a pole over there. So this one, the pole of course is not doing the best of job. So there it is. And this one goes then all the way up here and connecting it with that. Right, this is now connected. And here we can connect those two. So here we have the screws now. Very good. Delivering that up there. And then we need to go over here again. So there the rods are coming down. Let's go to the lower level then once again. Here we have now the rods. So it takes the ingots, gets the rods out here. They're being transported to the merger. The same thing here. Very good. And the cool thing about this one is when we want to have a second, third, fourth assembler up there with the rotors, we just have to change the output of those guys here. So instead of going out here with the screws then, for example, up there, we just have to change it to rods again. And then just, you know, add more and more constructors here. So that is that. Now, the only thing that is left is the power. And the power we do get down here. There's the power line. So let's attach one power pole here. And this one is then going over here. And once again over here. That then being connected. It's actually a lot of energy consumption, so we probably will have a problem there again with our energy. But then we have all the basic metal parts ready, so the rotors as well, and we can just freely go with researching. So that was a lot of preparation, but it's necessary. Now there we have the pole for the lower level, for the smelters and the miner. And I can already hear that the power is out. And there we have the pole for the miners. Right, that is connected now. Oh no, power is actually on. So they are starting to work now. Yeah. There should be now ore coming out anytime soon. Now it's producing very good. Now it's producing. There the ore is coming out, going then into the smelters, where we craft the ingots. And the ingots then go up to the next level. And there the ingots are coming out now. I think from there too. Yep. Going over here to our constructors. Being splitted up here into those factories. Oh, this is just beautiful when it then works out. And on the other side, the rods are coming out, being merged, being transported to the upper level. So the rods over there and here. In the next level, we have the screw production. So here now, the rods are coming up. Those rods are being transported right to the assembler. And those rods here are being transported to the screws. Or the screw constructor, that is. And those guys still need a power connection. So let's have another power line here. And here we now craft the screws, which are now should be coming then out here. There they are, beautiful. All the screws are coming out and then being transported to the next level. And let's get to the last level. And up here the screws should be coming out then soon. The rods are already coming out, so they're already being transported. into our assembler for the rotors. And as we can see, the screws are being now transported into the assembler here, and the rods that are not being used and the screws that are not being used are then splitted into the next splitter here, so where we can then, you know, continue with the next assembler. We can actually do that right away. I think we have enough resources for that. And this one is now waiting for enough screws to come in. Of course, we can speed the whole thing here up if we have faster belts. In that case, we do have the faster belts, and we can just click on that and upgrade them. And those screws, as you can see, are being now transported way faster into our assembler. And he starts now producing us the first rotor, and then lots of work culminates into this one that we have automated now. Stay tuned.